Lewis, can you just tell us how difficult a decision, or otherwise, was it an easy decision to have to leave John Terry at home?
Well, it was not a decision made by me because he was having too much of an trouble to travel, even to try tomorrow. We have made a test this morning and it didn't work out well, so the decision was made to leave him at home. He was himself also convinced he could not be of worth for the team at the moment.
What is the exact problem?
He has a little bit problem, a little bit on the hamstring and on a tendon in his hamstring area. And that's why we made an ultimate test this morning, and we decided not to participate.
And in terms of how long may this be, could he be back for the weekend, or is it too soon?
Difficult. That's why we prefer to have him in Cobham, in the training center, to have daily treatment and see how his development will be for the weekend.
So how are you going to line up? How do you replace him?
Yeah, well, we had let's say the problem in the previous game against Newcastle, and we practice not because one get an injury, but we also do a lot of practices where we put in other people in this case in central defense. So there was not a surprise for the players that we had to make some changes. And of course, John not having is a bit of a setback as a leader. But I'm not the type of coach or manager who starts mourning. We go on. We have to go on, and the players who will replace him, I have full confidence in them.
What about your potential other injury worry for this game, Oscar? How is he doing?
I think Oscar had a good training session this morning, and he will be available.
Gus, you've been involved in probably countless matches and ties like this over the years. Thibaut Courtois there said it's a 50-50 tie. Give us an insight, if you can, into the sort of things that you can do as a coach to swing it your way.
To have this 1% in our advantage. Yeah. It's 50-50. Well, I think it's a good statement of his, because if you see where we are now, if you see where PSG is now, they are building up a very strong team. They are dominating completely the French league. They have, I think, 24 or even plus points ahead, which means that this is a superior team in the league. And then they are focusing to get this Champions League. A big club has to win a Champions League cup. But we are in a similar situation that, of course, everyone knows that the league hasn't started good this year, and there we had some recovery, let's say, from December until now. But we are also desperate to get into next round of Champions League, and that's a very good test for our players as well. So I agree when it's a 50-50, and I hope this 1% can be in our advantage.
Gus, do you think the fact that PSG are so far clear, and
Sorry.
Do you think the fact that Paris Saint-Germain are so far clear in France and more or less have the title won, in a way could work against them, because they're suddenly pitched into a game here where they have to suddenly get an edge to play in the Champions League?
Yeah, that would have been the case, I think, when the team was not experienced. But if you see PSG with all the players, they are international players. They have the experience, and they know very well that in Champions League there might be other circumstances, other laws, other ways of playing. They know very well. It's not for nothing that they arrested some players in the past game. So they are focused in capitals on this event.
Is the Champions League the last way to save the season of Chelsea?
No, I think what Thibaut said very well is just Champions League is something in it, and not of course the consequence of winning it is having a Champions League place, and everyone knows that the season of Chelsea has started poorly until December. and there you have to win the place, the fourth place at least. But as he said, in Champions League, you have so many good teams that, that's very difficult. It's the consequence of winning, but I think if you win, then you don't even think of that. It's beautiful to win a big cup.
Okay, we'll try and do about 4 more questions if we can. Yes, sir. Yep.
Hi. Yeah. Laurent Blanc said earlier that he will set up his team to dominate possession and impose their rhythm on the game. Is this a battle that you want to fight, or will you set up to counter-attack?
Well, it's always a matter of who is the strongest and who will impose his strategy. And I think his team is capable of playing either way, whether they can play a good counter, but also they are now become more strong and are able to impose a game as well. So we have to find the answer. If we are forced to drop back, we have to. But if you don't take sometimes the initiative, then you can wait on errors, and then you can wait on what we don't want to happen. So we must take some initiative as well.
Okay, we'll come over to the left down here in the second row. Simon.
Hi, Gus. Hello. How you doing? How much has 2009 been on your mind over the last 7 years in terms of what happened against Barcelona? And do you feel like you've got some unfinished business in terms of what happened that night?
No, I don't feel unfilled business. Maybe in the 1 or 2 days or the weeks after that 2009, but years are going by, and I didn't think much of that. Of course, now when we are going into Champions League, then of course we get the questions, and I get remembered of this when we were kicked out in the way we were kicked out. Everyone can see, but that's how it's going. I don't go back. It's history. It's nice for let's say contemplations in Christmas Eve, but not more. It's the past. It's the past. We have now we have to go on.
Wasn't it more like Halloween, Gus? But
Yeah.
would this be your last Champions League crack at the Champions League? Do you think you obviously only got a contract at the end of the season? Do you think this would be your last crack at it?
First of all, I love it to be with the guys every day. I love to be in the games. Of course, the Champions League is something extra. And I'm not thinking of my future in this, because my future is already in my bag. But I love to go with the team. And yeah, what shall I say? It's Champions League is something special. If you have the experience to go into the last 8, the last 4. Then it's very special. So, and I don't think ahead what will happen next year or no.